power of prayer. You believe in that?
Yeah.
Because you said something earlier about when people, if you humble yourself and you pray, God responds.
Right.
Okay. First of all, I think that, again, contradictory moment. I think that's an arrogant idea. That if God is so merciful and so loving and so embracing, why does he need you to honor him? Why does he need you to show him, bow to me, pray to me? Why would he need that if he's all those things? And secondly, when you talk about the power of prayer, okay, I'm pretty sure that before those people jumped out of those buildings on 9/11 today, they were praying their asses off.
I'm sure they were too.
I'm sure the parents that have terminally ill children sitting in hospitals are praying their asses off. Spare my kid. I'm sure that before children get murdered at the hands of a sick maniac, they're thinking, where's my mother? Where's my father? My superhero, my protector? And as their lives are being drained from them, and that horrible reality is they're shitting and pissing on themselves, are praying.
And there's times where he has not did that.
Somebody recently commented on one of my videos saying that God is visible to the believer, but invisible to the non-believer. And I've often been told, even used to say it myself when I was a deacon in church, that God hears the cries of the true believer, but doesn't hear the cries of the faint at heart or the lukewarm Christian. And so oftentimes, and it's so appropriate that right now I have a sinus infection. Well, it's going away. That when I was 15 years old and I was having a sinus infection, and back then we didn't know what sinus infections were. So the deacons and the pastors, and I was a usher at the time, pulled me into the little room, and they all praying. They asked me, did I feel better after they prayed? I told them, no, I feel the same. Oh, well, your faith isn't strong enough. And for most people, they would say that would be church hurt. You'd be upset about that. That would cause you to leave the church. No, it invigorated me. It made me more of a follower of this Bible. I dedicated even more of my life to following this book. I researched because I wanted to have that faith, so I wanted to have the knowledge so that I can have the emotional connection to the Bible. I prayed without ceasing, had a prayer closet in my room, had everything, was praying. I devoted myself to this. My heart was so open to this. But the more and more I looked at the world around me, and the more and more I learned about this God, I came to realize the very thing that Aries Spears is talking about. People prayed for freedom from slavery, yet remain slaves. Whether they are the transatlantic slaves, they were slaves in Europe, they were slaves in the Levant, slaves in Egypt. They prayed because the Bible said that he brought them out of Egypt and that they wouldn't be slaves anymore. They prayed. They prayed for, good weather, for their crops, for financial upliftment. I grew up poor. And for years, I thought that prayer without works is dead. So I need to get to work. But you know what I learned when I stopped praying? That works without prayer also brings you prosperity. That works without prayer also brings you love. That works is what brings you everything. I saw a video of a gentleman who had brain cancer. Now, he claimed that God healed him. But as more and more he talked, you come to realize that he went through chemotherapy and he went through all these other treatments, and he got on a high energy diet. Yet God healed him. You see, if God healed you, don't change your diet. If God healed you, don't seek medical attention. If God healed you, stop going and doing all these other things to make it work, because the same a Muslim guy can go to the same doctor, do the same thing, and get the same healing. A Hindu can go to the same doctor, go and do the same things and get the same healing. And then most people with brain cancer or pancreatic cancer, they just die. Many of you know that I was a witness to this. One of my best friends died of pancreatic cancer in my house. Prayers didn't matter. People coming over, praying. We're going to beat this. God is going to beat this. God is going to open up the windows and is going to beat this. Nope. October 5th, 2023. Didn't win. Didn't happen. She passed. Oh, well, God works in mysterious ways and you don't know the mind of God. You see, all of that rhetoric doesn't matter when it comes down to the reality that you can pray without ceasing. You can pray for everything. And then when you see it happening, you think that it is because of your God, and you ignore whatever the efforts that you have made or the efforts that other people have made. And you ignore those things and you give all this credit to this God. But this God had absolutely nothing to do with it, because the same guy in Japan is going through the same damn thing that you're going through, praying to a different God or no God whatsoever, and still achieve the same results. It's what you do. Prayer has no value. If prayer had value, then Christians would be in the church, be in the hospitals, healing people left and right. They would be on the streets and they see the homeless man or woman who has a mental disorder, and they would lay hands on them like they claim that the apostles did in the Bible. They would lay hands on them and those people be healed. They will cast out the demons like that Jesus did. Did not your Bible say that there will be those who will come after me who will do greater things than I? That you will prophesy and you will cast out demons. There are plenty of homeless people who are there because they have mental issues. Cast out the demon. Cast out the demon. Go to a homeless person, cast out the demon, and they come right in their mind, right then. Show your worth, prove your worth. But no, you can't do it, because prayer is useless. It's wasteful. Meditation is better. At least you're focusing inward to decide mentally what you are going to manifest, how you want your body to function, how you want it to go. In the past, a sinus issue would have had me down for a week. Then I learned how to meditate, to tell my body how it's going to feel, and then eat appropriate foods, drink appropriate liquids, do what I need to do physically to get it done. Mentally and physically, do what's needed to get it done, and it gets done. It's as simple as that. Prayer has zero value. But hey, you want to keep losing? Keep on praying. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.